Hey, hope you're well. So it seems hard to believe, but it's not much more than a year ago that I've bought my first 3D printer and I didn't really know what to do with it. Fast forward to today though, and I have 5 production machines in the other half of the workshop and another for home use ready to go as well. I think it's fair to say that I've come a long way in the last year, and most of those printers that I mentioned are standard size machines capable of printing a 250mm or 10-inch cube, and most of the time that's absolutely fine. But I've been thinking about adding in a 3D printer with a bit more capacity. The trouble with that is that, much like guide rails and table saws, that additional capacity comes at a higher price, sometimes disproportionately so for the increase that you actually get. At least that was my thinking until the folks at AnyCubic reached out with their new Kobra S1 Max Combo, and as well as providing this machine for review, AnyCubic are also sponsoring this video. Now, if you're new to 3D printing, this is a Core XY machine where the print head moves across the build plate and the plate is moved up and down very precisely on screw threads at each corner. And the print is enclosed, which really helps to maintain a clean print environment free from dust or debris. And because it's a combo machine, it also includes an Ace 2 Pro for not only storing and handling 4 spools of filament, but it can also dry the filament whilst printing, especially important that if you're using filaments like PETG that really need to be dried thoroughly. Now, larger capacity 3D printers are nothing new, but getting one with a build volume of 350mm is really quite a step up, even though it may not feel like it at first, like moving from a 5-inch or 125mm sander to a 6-inch or 150mm sander. The extra 100mm in each dimension on the Kobra S1 Max is actually a 174% increase overall. Now, what you use that for depends on your needs, and I think it's unlikely that I'll be printing any 350mm cubes anytime soon, though you never know. But being able to print larger numbers of smaller things or parts of a product on the same build plate that would normally need to be printed separately at a later time or split over several machines, being able to do that in one hit is a much more efficient way of working. If you're a new user, or perhaps like me, someone whose experience is all within another ecosystem, you'll find this very straightforward to get into and set up. The unboxing process is pretty painless. Just be aware that this particular machine, the Kobra S1 Max Combo, is quite heavy, and it is recommended that lifting it out of the box is a 2-person job. Lacking a spare person, I did manage it on my own, but it would definitely have been easier with a little bit of help. The machine is very well packaged with all the delicate parts screwed down onto plastic formers designed to stop movement in transit, much like a washing machine. And like a washing machine, you also get parts stored inside the cabinet. Needless to say, all these bits and pieces need to be removed and set aside. The screws to be removed are clearly marked, and the quick start guide is very well written and easy to follow too, so making all the connections is straightforward, with all the Allen keys you may need supplied in the accessory kit. When you first power the machine on, it goes through a self-test and calibration process that can take a little while. This one was around 40 minutes, and that gives you plenty of time to download the app, create an AnyCubic account if you don't already have one, and get everything ready. With the calibration successfully completed, I followed the quick start guide and added in some filament, some standard AnyCubic PLA in slot 1, and AnyCubic PETG in slot 4. This is very straightforward, and the printer recognized the filament type, color, and the slots that they were in the Ace 2 Pro. It's all very painless. I kicked things off with a standard test print. This one is the Benchy benchmark print that's pre-installed and easy to access through the large, clear touchscreen display. This one is sliced for PLA filament, so the printer picks this up promptly and prints this out impressively fast. Test print completed, and it does look a little lost at sea on a build plate this size. The quality seems great, so now I just want to try out something a little larger and, for me, a little bit more critical. One of my 3D printed loose tenon jigs. Installing the AnyCubic Slicer Next software is very straightforward. Just follow the instructions and the prompts, and to anyone with any prior experience on 3D printers, this will be a very familiar environment with the overall look and feel similar to many other slicers. If you're new to 3D printers, then the slicer is where your 3D model is literally sliced into layers that can be printed. And I have to say, it's a pleasure to be able to just drag and drop the body and the fence of the loose 10-inch jig onto a build plate that's big enough to accommodate them both at the same time. Normally, I'd be printing these out in sequence or across different printers. I've sliced this for PETG filament, and I can send this to print through the AnyCubic cloud system, though there's also the option to send directly to the printer as well. I'm new enough to 3D printing that I do like to see the print actually to start happening before leaving it alone. And as I say, I'm not at all technical, but while that prints, let me rattle through some of the specs on this machine for the folks who are. As I've said, the Kobra S1 Max is a large format 3D printer with a build volume of 350 millimeters in each dimension, a 350 millimeter cube effectively that will cover the vast majority of most folks' printing needs. It supports up to 16 colors via the included Ace 2 Pro system that starts with 4 colors and can be expanded by daisy chaining extra units. And it features independent brushless motors for fast, reliable filament changes plus active filament drying at 65 degrees C during printing to prevent moisture issues and improve reliability with hygroscopic materials, filaments like PETG. It can cope with a wide range of filaments too, including 8 engineering grade filaments, including ABS and carbon fiber, and all the usual consumer filaments like PLA and PETG. It has a high temperature 350 degrees C hot end and a hardened steel nozzle for longer life, a 120 degrees C heated bed, and 65 degrees C actively enclosed chamber for reduced warping, better layer adhesion, and consistent results on demanding materials. As you've seen, it's really quick and easy to set up, being 95% pre-assembled. For quick unboxing and the fast first print and auto leveling, large capacitive touchscreen, quick release hot end, easy filament loading, and the AnyCubic Slicer Next with pre-tuned filament profiles makes it pretty painless to get great results. There's a built-in 720p AI camera for real-time anomaly detection, things like foreign objects or print failures, not that I've had any of those, as well as power loss recovery. There's an activated carbon filtration for odor control and impressively quiet operation. Around 48 dB in quiet mode means that it's the perfect choice for a home printer or for one used for a home-based business. There's impressive connectivity too, with dual band Wi-Fi 6 and an Ethernet port for the oldsters like me who prefer a wire to their printers, and of course the AnyCubic app for remote control monitoring, time-lapse and file transfer. Overall, the combo machine really delivers for users wanting professional level output, large single-piece prints, multicolored designs, high-temperature engineering plastics, fast production, and minimal babysitting, and all at a competitive price point compared to similar high-end systems. So this is the finished print in AnyCubic PETG, and I'm overall very happy with that, although there are probably a couple of things I'd change before printing another. But one thing I did want to try next was printing something in ABS. This is a smaller potential product that my 10-Minute Workshop Plus members are a little more familiar with. It's a drilling guide for concealed hinges, and the appeal of ABS is that it's more resistive to higher temperatures. The tip of a self-centering bit has the potential to become quite hot if used for longer periods. And while I've had no issues with the ones I've printed in PETG, I do want to try it out in ABS. Now, just as a precaution, I'll move the printer into the 3D printing side of the workshop, as ABS has a reputation for producing some bad fumes. And in the other side, I can open the door and the window if I need to. It'll also be a good test of the active carbon filtration on the printer. So this hinge guide isn't a big product by any stretch of the imagination, but it is just too large to get more than 4 of them comfortably on a normal sized build plate. And it's really good to see that I'll be able to fit 10 of these onto this one if I wanted to go into production. For the purposes of this test though, I'll just print the one and we'll see how that goes. So that's very impressive. No odor or fumes from the ABS filament at all, although it is only a small print to be fair, and a very clean print too. There's quite a lot of fine detail, fine text on the face of this little template, and it's resolved all that very well. I need to run some more extended tests drilling through this. Well, that'll be for another video at another time. As I said before, I'm no expert on 3D printing and I'm very new to this machine, but for a relative novice like me, I've been very impressed with this. If you're looking for your first large format printer, then I think the AnyCubic S1 Max Combo should definitely be on your shortlist, especially when you consider the price is just $7.99 here in the UK, including VAT, depending of course on when you're watching this video, as that's an early bird special offer. Make no mistake, a pound short of 800 quid is still a decent chunk of money, but it isn't much more than a standard sized combo machine from other popular manufacturers, and the fact that you do get a lot more build volume for your money, as well as out-of-the-box compatibility with more sophisticated materials, means that the printer will grow with you as you gain more experience and move on to larger or more complex projects, whilst also providing the support and the ecosystem that new users feel comfortable with. The technical specs on this are really impressive too, especially being able to dry filament while you're printing. I think that'll be a game changer for many people. No more bags of silica, desiccant, rattling around your spools of filament. If all that goodness is enough to get you interested, then be sure to follow the link in the video description for discounts and offers that will make this printer even better value. I'll call this one done for now though. Thanks ever so much for taking a look, and thanks again to AnyCubic for providing this machine for review. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Keep watching, keep subscribing, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Take care.